Hey guys, welcome back to another Toss episode. So let's go start all the Pokemon nonsense. So let's go start with like the obvious choice to do when making a video about Pokemon. What are my favorite Pokemon? But in this case, because we're starting Gen 9, let's go do the Gen 9 favorite Pokemon video. I guess there's not much more to say here. Now, before I begin, something important. This list might change, or at least like somewhere in the middle of the list may change over time. The only difference is that there's a Pokemon in the middle of the list that I have not used to a capacity, which if I use this Pokemon, I might like more. But this is kind of a tentative spot, at least like the middle of the list. So just get ready for that. Because when I did my Full and Value Discovery video series, I guess on Twitch, I have used, or at least tried to use, so many Pokemon all at once that technically my final team consists of like a 20-something Pokemon. But most of these I have used to some capacity during the playthrough, or a certain post-game Pokemon like I'm using later, a lot later. But for right now, we're going to deal with my favorite Pokemon from Gen 9. Just keep that in mind. Somewhere in the middle of this list, I will tell you where it is, that it may change later. Go. Number 10, Shinpao. Now, the reason why this is like low on the list because like I generally don't care about using legendary Pokemon, and this is a legendary Pokemon. Granted, like, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, Articuno, is a legendary Pokemon that I don't remember using much at all. But, like, the design of Articuno being Ice-type kind of more than makes up for it. I think Shinpao is going to be in the same category of a Pokemon that I really like because, one, it's an Ice-type, and two, it has a sword for fangs. It's a literal sword for fangs. It is actually freaking cool. It is swords and ice, like, and obviously, like, I like swords and I like ice, so that combination, without taking into account the fact it's actually really dang strong, is, bound to be on the favorite, Pokemon list for this generation. So this is kind of a no-brainer. This is like one of those Pokemon that's tailor-made for me to like. So, yeah, I got nothing more to say. It's a Pokemon tailor-made for me to like. So, there you go. Number 9 is Garganacl, and honestly, when I was using Garganacl, the Nacli line, it's actually super helpful that I end up using for a large chunk of my playthrough of Value Discovery. And while I didn't make the final team used for, the champion and the champions, but it did end up being pretty useful for a good chunk of it. So I really did like using the Nacli line, and out of those, I like the design of the final form Garganacl the most. And also I kind of get destroyed by Garganacl, by Arven's Garganacl specifically. I said it a lot in the Value Discovery playthrough. But long story short, I did lose to Arven twice as my only like actual game overs of Violet. But that's kind of a long story. The point is that I would do like Garganacl, and supposedly his Pokédex entry is saying that it uses the heaps of salt that it has on its body to help other Pokemon, which is kind of ironic because the previous evolution, the Nacli Stack, talks about how it like salt cures everything and how it like more tortures Pokemon using its salt more than healing. But yeah, I already do like how Garganacl uses salt. But yeah, also its salt cure attack is actually pretty interesting. Like, it's not on the realm of, Fire Spin and the like, but I don't know, it just feels like it's very useful compared to other Pokemon, because in itself is very useful. So, and I've actually heard that, or seen and heard that Garganacl is actually pretty decent as a battler on competitive. I don't remember if these on UU or OU, I don't remember one of the two, but I don't really check, because, YouTube keeps recommending me videos about competitive, even though I don't play competitive, but that's not the point. Point is that, like, Garganacl, pretty interesting Pokemon. I do like it. and it's basically a Minecraft mob. That's kind of, it's funny, it's just basically a Minecraft mob. Got nothing more to say. Next up is the pseudo-legendary Baxcalibur, but I'm also including its middle form, Arctibax, because I like Arctibax's design more than Baxcalibur, but Baxcalibur is a heck of a Pokemon. It's like a literally giant sword, or a weird blade on its back, and it attacks like Godzilla would. It actually feels kind of interesting. I mean, there are some design things about Baxcalibur that I may not like as much as Arctibax, but I do find that it's actually pretty dang cool. I do like it. Is it my favorite pseudo? Not entirely sure, but it's ice type, so... But again, it being ice type makes it kind of hard to, you know, justify liking. But again, Champ Power Assists. So, but anyway... Yeah, I do like Baxcalibur. It's an interesting pseudo. It's kind of funny that when I was doing Battle Discovery, I didn't think that... I was keep assuming that, you know, when Frigibax evolved one level after I caught it, would be the pseudo. And then all as I was playing it, it feels like, yes, I think Arctibax and Baxcalibur are the pseudo, considering how late it evolves. Yeah, because remember, I didn't look anything up at all, like, for my Let's Play of Violet. So, looking nothing up, kind of found out that Baxcalibur was the pseudo. And it's actually pretty useful. And it's funny, because I usually have it as, like, the ace, you know, the 6th slot, but I almost don't use it as such. To the point that when I faced you know, the Elite Four, the champions, I barely even use Baxcalibur. But mostly because a certain other Pokemon on this list was just destroying everything in sight. So anyway, yeah, Arctibax, Baxcalibur, pretty cool mons. Number 7, it's a Pokemon I did not expect to be on this list. And it's kind of on this list because it was used on the final team. Kilowattrel. Not gonna lie, didn't think it would be that high. Like, if I knew about what Pokemon would be a favorite, I didn't think Kilowattrel would probably be up there. But the main reason why it's up there is because of Violet Discovery, in which, when I caught one, it was the highest level Pokemon in a party. And it still was when I beat the game, which is kind of crazy. Because, like, it was so useful as being, like, a needed special attacker in a team full of physical ones. So, yeah, Kilowattrel had, like, a specific niche that I really wanted, and it definitely served its purpose very well as, like, a very speedy special attacker that I did need for that team. Arboliva, same thing. I'm only mentioning Arboliva now because it's not on this list, even though it is part of that team. And it's probably the only one on that team that is not on this list. But still, like, Arboliva was there as a special attacker that I specifically needed, and the entire team was weak to ground. So I needed to get Kilowattrel, which was immune to ground, and Arboliva, which is resistant to ground. And who would have expected the first, you know, Elite Four member would be a ground type user, despite looking nothing like one. I'm just saying. Speaking of, I think said character is probably going to be on my favorite Scarlet and Violet characters list, but no guarantees on that one. Point is, Kilowattrel, very useful when I got it. It was super high level when I got it. It was super high level when I ended the game with it. So, yeah, and it still is very high level. I think right now it's level 90, where all the others are in the 60s, 70s. But mainly because it can fly, it can also auto, Let's Go battle against, like, Pokemon underwater. So, there you go. Number 6, this is the Pokemon I was talking about being a bit fluctuating. Cetotl. Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. Cetotl is currently, like, on the running for being my favorite cutest Pokemon. Like, I think that Amora is, like, kind of shaking right now because it's now competing with Cetotl as what, in my opinion, the cutest Pokemon. Because I'm the kind of person who doesn't really care about, you know, the round Pokemon, you know, Pokemon that people love just because they're round, you know, like Rowlet. It's like that Feel is in Legends Arceus for a lot of people. And for me, this is where Cetotl comes in. It's funny because we knew about Titan, on the trailers. Some people, myself included, thought it was probably just be the one stage. It's going to be just a Titan, and that's it. There's no evolution, no pre-evolutions. It wasn't until when I found one in game that I realized, wait a minute, that thing exists, and that's what was a Titan. The pre-evolution Titan or something like that. I was not gonna lie, I was kind of floored when I saw Satotl. It's a very, very adorable Pokemon. It's to the point that I wanted to change the profile on my user profile in game and try to make a picture of it. I happened to be on the highest peak of Paldea, and there are a couple of Satotl there. I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a picture of the two Satotl and them smiling, and that's exactly what I did. Even since then, I just started to really, really like Satotl. It's a very adorable looking thing. It's super happy. It's round. It's and that's kind of big for a round Pokemon. Because usually like round Pokemon are really small, like baby Pokemon. Well, not baby Pokemon, but like baby sized. Adorable. You hold them in your hand, kind of baby. But no, this one's huge. But like it's actually very adorable. I do love Satotl. I really would like to have a giant plush of one, if you know what I mean. Like, kind of like what I have with Amora. So yeah, this is a very adorable Pokemon. I really do love it, just by it being cute. However, I have not used it to any capacity. Maybe if I go do a second playthrough of Violet, maybe I'll use it. Answer Titan. Maybe this list will go out from 6 to maybe 5. Because I think the first 4 slots in this list are kind of like, locked. But I think if I used it, maybe in my top number 5. But right now, it sits comfortably at the 6th slot in the middle of the road for my favorite Pokemon of Generation 9. Number 5, Glimmora. Okay, so I'm probably, literally the only person in the entire internet who thinks that Glimmora being Gita's ace is based. Who's your ace? Who is your ace? No way! You are so based! No way! Your ace Pokemon is that? Freaking, this champion's awesome! This is the best team. This is the best champion team. Right there. This champion is based. No way you're ace! It's like my favorite design of this game. I wanted to use Glimmora on my team for this challenge. Yo, this champion's got a base team. Like, Leon has nothing. Leon just has good Pokemon in general. Like, yeah, it's like Aegislash and Dragapult. They're good Pokemon, but they are not based. This was a base team. Cause my goodness, like I didn't think that the champion, the supposed top champion, the first La Primera, her ace Pokemon, the Pokemon that she relies on to finish battles, is a setup lead. That is hilarious. That is based. Like, I'm the champion, so I'm obligated to use the strongest Pokemon available, like either the pseudo or a starter or a starter that's not really the starter, Leon. Or some other very strong Pokemon as the Pokemon to end the battle with. You use a setup lead as a race. That is base. That is like unusual. And the crazy thing about it is that if you really dig deep into lore, her having Glimmora as her ace opens up some questions, because supposedly Glimmet and Glimmora are more tied to the terrestrial phenomenon than most other Pokemon. And since the Terrestrialize is the main battle gimmick of Scarlet and Violet, that having a Pokemon whose lore is based around it, or even the thing that's based around is based on it, based on Glimmora, would be lore, fitting in for lore, not maybe for battles, because she also has King Gambit in her team, which is the perfect, or almost the perfect Pokemon to end off, because if Hass is going to have the pseudo, might as well her have a Pokemon that has stat buffs when if you're the last Pokemon on her team. If like how many Pokemon has already fainted prior to Elite to sending it out. Like that's the perfect Pokemon to be the ace. But her Glimmora as the ace is super based. And guess what? It's a setup lead. It's a pretty good setup lead. It's if you get hit, you get Toxic Spiked. It's actually pretty cool. I do find, Glimmora pretty cool. I think its hit ability is Corrosion too, which is something you only see in Salazzle, and Salazzle can't do anything about it because Salazzle just wants to hit things. But for like Glimmora, it wants to poison things. So why not be Poison Steel types? But then again, the Toxic Debris ability is way better. So why can't we have a Pokemon with Corrosion that can actually use Corrosion instead of having to, better off doing something else instead? But like, it's pretty sick. I do like Glimmora. Unfortunately, it wasn't on my final team against Gita, but I'm glad. I was super glad that I get to see Glimmora in the champion fight, even though it's not on my team. So yes. I do think that, Glimmora being Gita's ace is based. I really do like Gita's team because of it, also because of the Go-Go, but that's another story. And I know, Gita's sort of the worst champion ever because she has the worst team. I don't know, I think Diantha's worse. But then I was using Malamar and Superpower Malamar with Contrary, just solos the entire team. But like, I think Gita's not the strongest champion. I do think her team is based. Like, her and maybe like Iris has a pretty cool team. Pretty cool, like if you think about it, team. I mean, granted, maybe not like Veluza on Gita's team, or even Avalog on Gita's team, but like the fact she has Go-Go on her team is pretty cool, and Glimmora as her ace is pretty cool. At least she has Kangambit there, as her fifth. But like, it's actually pretty dang cool. I'll give Gita that. It's a pretty cool team. It's not the strongest. But it's Pokemon. Who cares if they're strongest? Besides, Nemona is the actual champion fighter of the game. Number 4, Tinkaton! Or should I say Tinkaton and the middle form Tinkatuff? I can't really decide which of the two do I like the design of more. Because I've had Tinkatuff for a while, and while with Tinkaton, it was pretty cool. I really do like Tinkaton. But I don't know, I feel like I was way more connected to Tinkatuff more than Tinkaton. When I was using Tinkaton. Especially the whole tank family there. It's because I was using it early on because I just randomly found one in like a very early game raid. So just caught it. And then ended up being not only on the team, but as, like, the ace of my team. Like, I didn't think that, like, a Pokemon was randomly caught. Oh, it's a fairy Pokemon. It's kind of, like, babyish, whatever, little rattle thing, and then evolves into, some other gremlin with the cute hair and the hammer. So that looks pretty cool. It evolves even further to, Amy Rose, the Pokemon. It's actually pretty cool. And it ends up with, being the ace of a team with Hammer Time going on. And yeah, I feel like Tinkaton is pretty cool. And then I saw the memes. Oh yeah, I saw the memes of Tinkaton well after I was done with the game. Because I said, I looked absolutely nothing up. No matter what it is, I didn't look crud up for this game before I beat it. And by beat it, I mean, I decided to start looking things up after I beat the final boss of Violet. And then after that, I said, you know what? I'm going to look things up. And I'm glad I did, because Tinkaton memes are hilarious. I'm so super glad that I saw Tinkaton memes, like, after everything, after I beat the game. Because otherwise, I didn't want to be randomly spoiled by stuff. But dang, the Tinkaton memes, they're hilarious. Like, oh, Tinkaton being able to kill Corviknight from the sky. That's why Corviknight can't be the taxi of the game. So replaced by, 4 Pokemon that's super irrelevant. And then, Tinkaton with a giant, small girl, giant hammer. It's absolutely hilarious. I do love Tinkaton memes. I do think they're hilarious. And even Tinkaton memes of what if Tinkaton instead of Corviknight is some other Pokemon? What if instead of holding a hammer based out of your Corviknight stuff? What if she had the Zacian sword? Like, what if she had like, some other weapon for different Pokemon or something? What if? And this isn't something I made. This is something I made up. But what if, like, Tinkaton instead of a giant sword made out of Skarmory stuff? Skarmory existed in Scarlet Violet or something, or Tinkaton existed in Johto. That would, or Hoenn, because people first saw Skarmory Hoenn. But like, it's really hilarious to think about Tinkaton being this like, Pokemon that just like, what I'm thinking of here, that just says no to Steel type Pokemon in general. It's just absolutely hilarious. So yes. I do like Tinkaton memes, and Tinkaton was technically my ace, but I just really like Tinkaton's design more. I just got more attached to it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Number 3, Ceruledge. Okay, so before I talk more about Ceruledge, I'm gonna have to talk about Skeledirge. And like the entire Fuecoco line, because this is absolutely relevant. So none of the starters in this game are in this list. Fuecoco, I looked at the design. Fuecoco is pretty neat. Its evolution, it's alright. I didn't really like it that much, but I think it's pretty neat. And then it evolves into a fire ghost type, and this is where Ceruledge comes in. So because Skeledirge, I don't want the name Skeledirge, by the way. I'm not a big fan of the name. Because it shares 2 types with a Pokemon I know I'm going to like, then yeah, your Skeledirge is boxed. Like, you're done. Like, you're done. Absolutely done. Like, I know from the trailers, I'm gonna like that guy. Like, a nice Ceruledge. And I know I'm probably gonna use him on the team. Like, even if I'm probably the team, but it's on the team. But I might like it. Not sure it's gonna be on the team. And it ended up being on the team, man. I liking it more than Skeledirge, and yeah, Skeledirge is boxed because it shares 2 types, not only with a previous starter that I've used, that being Hisuian Typhlosion, which I also didn't use, but in my playthrough of Arceus, but also, Ceruledge. So yeah, I mean, does it take a genius to know that a guy who likes swords would like a Pokemon that has a lot of swords? Do you really need an explanation for that? No, not really. So we'll have 2. Number 2, it's the popular choice. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think this was gonna be this popular of a liked Pokemon. It's Clodsire. Now, nobody is surprised that a very popular Pokemon like Wooper, a very popular cute Pokemon Wooper, that's also been memed on for being cute, also evolves into, Quagsire, which also be memed on for being kind of cute, but also being the evolution of Wooper. But in this case, it evolved to a different Pokemon that ends up being cuter than Wooper. How did Quagsire end up being cuter than Wooper? But yeah, Clodsire, my goodness. Not only is it super cute, but also super good, like, in actual battle. Like, here's what I think, like, Clodsire is great, right? Its typing is Poison Ground. What other Pokemon is Poison Ground type? That's right, the King! So, and Nidoking's already, like, within my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time. So, obviously, like, I know about Nidoking and a Pokemon that so happen to share the same 2 types as it, and, like, a general, I won't say general playstyle of it, it's just got a hard attacker, like, works with it. And also, freaking Clodsire has Water Absorb, which is absolutely crazy. Like, oh hey, weak to water. No, I'm not. Also has Unaware, which I think this is the competitive ability over Water Absorb, but like, I don't play competitive, and if I do play competitive, I probably wouldn't pick Clodsire. If I do pick Clodsire, then I probably would pick Unaware over Water Absorb. But the playthrough one I used had Water Absorb, and that I used it to greater effect than if I had Unaware on it. Okay. Thing is cute, it's super cute, and I want a plush of it. I want a giant plush of Clodsire. And also, I'm pretty sure Bro would like Clodsire too, because also he also likes Quagsire. But also, he likes ground type Pokemon in general, so a Pokemon that looks like a ground type, of course he'd like it. Now, here's the thing, even though Clodsire is like some people's favorite Pokemon of all time now, I think Ross O'Donovan, that's his new favorite Pokemon of all time or something. But like, it's not my favorite Pokemon of Generation 9 because a certain other Pokemon that got released and got used as like the the final boss's final Pokemon, a Pokemon that I read in game in like a place in Turo's lab about a certain Pokemon that looks like a Pokemon that I already love. Yeah, Rona was coming. Go for number 1. Okay, it's been 1 year. Iron Valiant, an experiment gone wrong. This oddities names borrowed from the Oddities Right Valley Pokemon theory holds as a fact a robot. The product of mad science effort to create the most powerful psychic Pokemon of all. According to Valiant, appears similar to both Gardevoir and Gallade. Okay! Is this gonna be a new favorite Pokemon of all time? If it's gonna be a Pokemon that's similar to Gardevoir and Gallade, my two favorite Pokemon of all time? It's gonna be cruel enough to take its brilliant and shining blade, cut down anyone confronting without hesitation. Okay, maybe a third. Okay, I am curious about this Iron Valiant. Alright, okay. So, the professor has been teasing in the lab about a weird version of Gardevoir and Gallade. So, what's come next, better be my third or fourth favorite Pokemon of all time. Because if it isn't, then something might be wrong. But here we go. What's it look like? Everything but 0 hesitation. Afraid the probability of you winning is 0. I mean, I have Max Revive. You don't, so. Yeah. So, what do you get from combining my favorite Pokemon of all time, my second favorite Pokemon of all time, their respective Mega Evolutions, and a robot theme with an attachable sword? Well, not really a sword, with a attachable Swallow Blade. Yo! 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 Okay, this looks worth it. This looks good. Okay. Okay, this is worth it. This is worth favorite Pokemon of this gen. That one's worth it. This is now probably my new third favorite Pokemon of all time. He probably beats Ivysaur as my third favorite Pokemon of all time. If now, they'll definitely beat Blaziken as my fourth favorite Pokemon of all time. So, yeah, there we go. Iron Valiant, because it's related to Gardevoir, because it's related to Gallade, related to both their Megas, it itself is like a unique typing, fairy fighting, and then the detachable blades that comes from it, and the fact that it also shares the same kind of easy to use as like a Pokemon to catch other Pokemon with, like Gallade. And it's a mixed attacker, and apparently from what I've heard and read and seen on a video, that it's actually really good competitively because it's a mixed attacker. How do you even do that, Pokemon? And then it's a Future Paradox Pokemon, because while I do think a lot of past Paradox Pokemon look pretty cool, I do like the Future Paradox Pokemon of some of these more. Maybe not Jugulis, but like, I do really like the design of Iron Valiant. Definitely one of my new favorites of all time, because it's a Mega Gardevoir, Mega Gallade fusion. Yeah, and a robot. That's sick. Alright, that's pretty much it for this list, so I got more to say. I guess we have some other Pokemon videos left to do, but right now, see ya guys later.